Good evening, class. So today I'm here to teach a topic, cell. So cell in biology is what? First of all, we'll know that. Then I'll tell you briefly about the main parts of the cells. What are the structure of cells, types of cells, and then we'll go to the structure of each and every types of cells. And at last, we will know the functions of each parts of the cell. So I'll be teaching you from my notebook. So let us a little bit come to my notebook. Yes. So today we are going to learn about cell. Now, where was cell discovered? Cell was actually discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665 from a slice of cork. Now, what is this cell? Cell came actually from a Latin word, cellula. Now, cellula means a small room. So, small room means the basic structure, right? So, cell is also known as the basic structural and functional part of the life. Also, it is known as the building blocks of life. Now, why is it called? Actually, cluster of cells makes tissues, cluster of tissues make organs, cluster of organs make organ systems, and through organ system, what becomes? A living organism. Yes. Now, cells also contains body's hereditary material and can make copies of themselves. We'll know about this part also. Now, cell has actually three parts: cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. Now, what are these three parts? Cell membrane is something which is surrounding outside the cell. Okay. Now, cytoplasm is something which is present inside the cell, and inside the cell there is something called nucleus. Okay. So, this part is known as cell membrane. Okay. This part is known as cytoplasm, and this part is known as nucleus. Yes. Now, what is cell membrane? Something which is surrounding the cell. It controls the substances that goes in and out. Okay, now what is cytoplasm? It is the fluid inside the cell. Now it contains cell organelles, and these cell organelles has certain specific functions. Now most of these chemical reactions take place inside the cell cytoplasm. Okay, and then coming to nucleus. Nucleus is the structure inside the cell that contains nucleolus and most of the cell's DNA. Now, it is where RNA is also made and found. Okay. Now, coming to the functions of cell. So, we will discuss about the major 6 functions of cell. Okay. So, cells first of all give the structure and support. Okay. Second part, it facilitates growth through mitosis. We will learn more about mitosis later. Then, it allows passive and active transport. It produces energy, it creates metabolic reactions, and lastly, it gives aid in reproduction. So, we will know that one question can arise: what are the cells made up of? Right? Now, cells are made up of nucleic acids, proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. So, another question can arise: what are the different types of cells? So, yes, cells are actually broadly distributed into two categories: prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Now, what are prokaryotic? Prokaryotic and eukaryotic actually has only two differences. And you can say the outer part of prokaryotic cells, every organelles or nucleus is not bound in membranes. And in eukaryotic cells, the opposite, everything is covered by specific organic molecular membranes. Okay. Now, we can see the basic difference here. You can see this lack both well-defined nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelles. And eukaryotic cell, this contains organized nucleus and organelles which are enveloped by membranes. So membrane is the basic difference. You can see. Yes. Now some of the examples are blue-green algae, bacteria, mycoplasma. Here you can see plant cell, animal cell, protist, fungi, etc. Now you can see the basic size difference. It can come from 0.1 to 50 micrometers, and it can come from 10 to 100 micrometers in diameter. Now we'll come to the parts of cell. So to understand the parts of the cell, we have to see the diagram. So first we'll see the prokaryotic cell. You can see the outer part of this full cell is known as capsule. Okay, there's a bacterium capsule. So these hair-like structures are known as pilus, and you can see the outer part is called cell wall, and the inner part, this inner membrane, is called plasma membrane. Okay, now you can see here everything is open, right? So this is called, this chain-like system is known as nucleoid. Here itself the DNA and RNA is found in clusters. Okay, and these are the organelles. You can find out that these part are ribosomes, and ribosomes will understand each and every functions later. This prominent hair-like structure is known as flagellum. Now let's jump over the eukaryotic cell. So eukaryotic cell, there I'll show you two cells, plant cell and animal cell. So first of all, this is a diagram of plant cell. So you can see there is a prominent cell wall. So there is a difference, two difference in plant cell and animal cell. You will not find plant cell wall or a big vacuole inside an animal cell. So inside you can see same, there is a cell membrane, and here you can see there is everywhere there is membrane bound organelles. Yes. Now this prominent structure is known as nucleus, and this is called nucleolus. Okay. Now these are endoplasmic reticulum, and this is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Only the difference is that this has ribosomes embedded on them. Okay. Then these are Golgi apparatus, and this is Golgi vesicles. This is lysosome, or known as the suicidal bags, and this is the mitochondria, also known as the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, and then this is a big vacuole present. Now this vacuole also has a vacuole membrane. Okay, and as it is a plant cell, this also has chloroplast, which gives chlorophyll pigment, and you know the pigment gives the green color of the plant. Okay, let's jump over the animal cell. Animal cell, you can see there is no cell wall present in animal cell, and there is a prominent cell membrane, and inside of the cell membrane this is cytoplasmic fluid, and inside it you can see there is a nucleus and nucleolus. And this around structures, everything are same. This endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, lysosome, peroxisome, centrosome. There is a small vacuole, and there are ribosomes outside. Now, what are the constituents of the cell? So as I discussed, there are actually the three basic constituents. First is the cell membrane, second is cytoplasm and the organelles, and lastly the last part is nucleus. Now we will discuss about each and every organelles and its functions. So the first part is cell membrane, right? So what do we understand? It is the outermost part of the cell, so it gives the structure of the cell. Now it is made up of proteins. It is a bilipid layer, so it is embedded with proteins, and the two proteins are integral and peripheral proteins, and the function majorly is protection, digestion and selective permeability. Now why I told about digestion? Because it engulfs the food or any part that is taken as food inside the cell, and it excretes out the waste material. So it takes part in digestion. And lastly, selective permeability means it penetrates. The penetration ability is known as the permeability. So it penetrates each and everything inside the cell. Now coming to cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is the thick gel-like structure, right? It is semi-transparent fluid. Now cytoplasm is also divided into two parts, two constituents. So one is cytosol and one is cell organelles. So let's focus again here. So cytosol is actually the aqueous part of cytoplasm, and it has all the cell organelles, right? Now the 70% of the cell volume is cytosol, and the remaining part is cell organelles. So cell organelles are basically mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, Golgi apparatus, peroxisomes and vacuole. Now we will learn about all these cell organelles, its functions. Right? Now every organelle is bounded by a lipid membrane. So let us discuss on the functions of these organelles. So mitochondria, as I told, it is called the powerhouse of the cell. So it maintains the or you can say it is the powerhouse of the cell, because there protein synthesis happens, and it gives the proteins out of the body. You know that proteins is needed for our energy, right? So mitochondria is only the main source. Okay, after that, endoplasmic reticulum, it gives the synthesis of proteins. Why? Because I told you in the structure that reticulum, on endoplasmic reticulum, there are ribosomes embedded on them, and that is actually giving the proteins. Okay, now coming to Golgi bodies, it is called the wrapping and packaging department of the cell. It wraps up all the particles present in the cell. So here we can know, coming to here to our notebook, yes, so it is a site of formation of lysosomes, and it also adds certain carbohydrates to form glycoproteins, which plays important role in association of cell to form tissues. Okay, so this is the wrapping part. Okay, and then lysosomes, as I told, suicidal bags of cells. So it digests this whole cell when it dies. Okay, so it has some lysosomal enzymes that causes autolysis. Autolysis means self-destruction of cell. Okay, now coming to peroxisomes. Peroxisomes, by its name, it metabolism and detoxification of H2O2 happens here, and it helps in photorespiration in plants, and in animals it synthesizes cholesterol and dolicol. Okay, then it's in biosynthesis of lipids also happens here. Also synthesis of bile acids in liver and synthesis of plasmogens are also responsible for by peroxisomes. Now coming to cytoskeleton, by its name it tells it is giving the cell morphology and cell motility, that means cell movement. And last part, nucleus, it gives the two parts. Now nucleus has two parts. One is the outer part, inside part is called nucleoplasm, and the inside nucleus, the small spot, is called nucleolus. Inside this DNA or RNA is present, and this is the nucleus. So as DNA and RNA is present, that means it helps in DNA synthesis and repair. Therefore here reproduction takes place. Now we will learn about other parts like reproduction, mitosis and other parts in our later class. So this is end of our class. Thank you so much.